in rebellion against God. Just in life, in general. I'm speaking openly here, and I'm going to bridge the text with it here in a second. But this thing has been on my mind after some, especially King Holiday. Some of the things I've been listening to and I've been hearing. I didn't get a chance to hear Bernice King's sermon on King Day, but I heard that she lit the pulpit up with the issues that are going on in the world, in our own country. And there's a consistent rebellion against God's truth. But also there's a lie being told where folks are trying to use God as a prop for something that has nothing to do with God at all. It's not in line with his will, not in line with his way. It's not even in line with his character at all. So I ask the question again, why constantly rebel?
Because we want our way. What we are saying is doing is wrong. So you gotta do something that makes it seem like
so we
I'm doing so right, and we did that inside.
So we try to mask wrong as right.
Right.
Justify our ill in a direction that says that's worthy of God. Wow. Sister Neely.
I've seen a prime example of that in myself this week. To say for what? And I'm like that because I'm in nursing. And I would find myself hounding on, what you should do, what you should do, what you should do. And then, I had to step back and look at myself. And the Lord told me, said, well, no matter what the doctor says, the final answer is in me.
Mm-hmm.
And you read about me and say, you got faith in me. Do you not have faith enough to believe that I can do it my way without what that doctor say? And I had to step back and look at myself because I had found myself hounding Walt about what the doctor said and this and that. And I've gotten to the point where I'm just aggravating him, Talk about my condition and stuff. I didn't even sleep in the same bed because I was just upset with myself. So I read my Bible and I thought, and it just came just plainly. The Lord said, I have the final say in everything. And Christians are faith enough to believe what God said has the final say. And so the day when I come in the house, I said, I am so sorry about the way I've been acting. I said, it doesn't matter what that doctor said. The word is in it. I said, and I read this over and over. And why have I had faith enough to believe what he says and not what folks say?
We find it easy to construct other people's problems out of destruction, not internal destruction, and then we know the solution for it, or at least the avenue we should travel in order for God to help us through that situation. And we oftentimes don't practice what we continue to preach and do
and read
and read because I believe sometimes it's different when it comes internal. It's not that happens all the time. Some people immediately go, okay, I need a God. Because I'm in that I call it the 3 question marks. I have no idea, God, what's going on. I have no idea, but I know that road is not going to work. because that doesn't follow in your character. Tell me where it is that I need to go and where I need to travel. And sometimes it's the resolution of prayer that takes us in that place, and sometimes even community that helps bridge that gap to bring us to that place of getting us back on the road that God wants us on to continue going down that path. Life is filled with uncertainty.
Yes. And I really took my mind completely off of God and put it right on what man said. And I was so ashamed of myself this morning. I couldn't even look at Walter. I just could not look at it because instead of being more gentle and kind and let it just go, he said, Gina, I'm praying on what's going on too. I have a God just like you do. What makes you think? Take a look at myself.
Peter tells Jesus, there's no way I would deny you. There's absolutely no way. Jesus looks at him and says, before the cock crows, you're going to deny me 3 times. 3 times. Now, when Peter does it, he realizes what has happened, what's transpired, what he's done. So, in sense, he says, Lord, I would never rebel. He did. Now, why did he do it? Well, maybe he did it to save himself. Because if he would have admitted it, maybe they would have put him on the tree too.
Fear took over.
Fear took over. He said, look, I'm this man because and sometimes, as Sister Melissa said, wanting it our way. Sometimes we try to save ourselves, not knowing that what we're doing is actually possibly condemning ourselves. Or putting ourselves in a situation where we're actually taking steps back rather than steps forward. And I'll put that key word rebellion there because oftentimes I believe that's what ends up happening, whether it's conscious or unconscious. I'm not going to get into that discussion, but I believe that that's part of what happens from the perspective of looking at life and looking at God's will. There are certain things that we're going to do and certain things that we're not going to do that are going to be, of course, for or against his will.
It's a battle against self-will and God's will.
Very much. But see, this and also infusion of grace. Because God already knows that some instances we're going to turn our back against him. He knows that.
He tells us not to deny him because we're going to do it. but we have to think. And just because they are saying something, we know it's dead wrong, listen, and go along with them, and deep down in our heart, we know it's wrong. And then after the person walk away, I say, why I didn't correct them? That was dead wrong. I just didn't want to make them feel bad.
You didn't want to make them feel bad. You knew that there was a level of some type of injustice to the character of God, and because of that, I don't want to hurt their feelings, so I'm not going to say anything. No, I'm not. I don't want to hear what they have to say if I tell them this, even in private. And so that goes through your mind. So there's a level of boldness that even God asks us to have, but a lot of times we relent on that and pull back because of, well, how's that going to look? Is that person not gonna like me? And this is where, I know I'm getting older now. I can just tell it. It's because it's just the way I'm thinking now. Because I'm at a place. I'm at a I really don't care moment in life now. I just am, and it's more so okay. It means too much in my faith for me not to say it if it's going to be helpful for you, but also to not overly critical about it to the point to make it look like I ain't got no issues or worries or cares or whatnot, that these proclivities don't. But I think when you're really real about it and not in a condescending way, it frees you. And when you really think about what we've been studying in Exodus, partly this is what a lot of this comes down to, is whether the people wish to acknowledge who God is for themselves. Not just who God is and what they've seen, but internally to realize that there's a character, a trust, and a truth of God that they themselves have to carry if they wish to have covenant with Him. Because if they don't, you're gonna run around the truth, you're gonna skirt the truth. As a matter of fact, you may even lie against the truth. And I'm saying all this because I believe when we look at this particular scripture in Exodus, and we're going to be dealing with the end of 35, going into 36 tonight, is all these things have transpired. But I go back into the adage of Joseph in Genesis, where some would do things against you to say that, okay, you meant in the most dire situations, in the most cumbersome and troublesome situations, God's will shows up. And then a choice has to be made on how we respond to it, given all the mess that may be around it. If there's a way of putting that. Because the Israelites right now have reestablished covenant, but they just came out of a real mess. And that mess, I believe, allows them to begin to see the relevance of God and not just the theory of God.
Say it again.
It begins for them to show the relevance of God and not just the theory of God. Now, let me explain. Is. Okay? That was on purpose. I normally go about 20 chapters a year in the Bible. If I'm not gonna say if you do it the right way, it's just a matter of what, because Revelation is just a year. Revelation is 21 chapters. Okay? So literally you can go through about 20 chapters. So again, I knew Exodus was gonna take us a while to get through. And I'm telling you all now that we're nearing the end of the book. We're nearing the end of the book. I should be able to finish it all up by next week. But the reason why I'm trying to start the recap process as we talk. That's why I'm talking freely tonight. Because this rebellion that the Israelites have, Jesus, the relevant God, and the theoretical God. Plague after plague. Says you probably right, wrong. Because I'm God and I know. Who should I tell them that sent me? very detailed statement, but simple. Because I am can go forever. And it does. You can put so many characteristics to God. But if God would have tried to explain who he was to Moses at that time, it would have been too big for him. And it's still too big for him even now. Now. But see, when you say I am encompasses so much, it's so broad, it's so big, it's so wide, it's so vast that maybe the only way God could help them experience the I am was to actually show them who I am is. At least from a part aspect. Moses goes back to Egypt. These 10 some gold. Tells things, but still there's no relationship. You've seen all these things God has done, but you still have no real tie to him. So all you can do is say, why did you bring us out here to die in Exodus 14? Pharaoh and his army are charging after us now. We got a sea in front of us and an army behind us. How are we going to get out? Crazy talk. So you right now.
But although when they was in Egypt, and God told us with the blood on the house, and he saved them and killed the other people, they still didn't believe that he was going to save them.
So there's still, Sister Scott, a relationship problem. Because God is trying to tell them, you are my people, and I'm your God. And they're basically still doing, yeah, right. Yeah. Still rebelling. At the Red Sea, rebelling. They watched the presence of God move from in front of them to behind them.
Is this what we doing today?
Relationship problem, we still got it.
This
That's
is what
exactly
we're doing
what
today,
it
right?
is.
In these last days,
Relationship problem.
we're rebelling.
Rebelling. We're continuously rebelling against God, and God is telling us, I am your God. You are my people. I'm telling you, this is what God is doing. That's what he tells to the world every day. Any church open in the name of Jesus Christ is preaching this every week. But it's consistent rebellion. Always rebellion. Rebelling against God. Rebelling against God. So again, the Egyptians are following them. God's presence moves behind them, but he never leaves in front of them. Because he's working in two places at the same time. He has a sandstorm keeping them confused while he's making a way of escape for the Israelites. Does that, a sea parts, they walk on dry ground, get to the other side, Pharaoh's army comes in and drowns. God has his covering over the Israelites. But he also shows them that those who don't have my covering can't walk in my covering facetiously. They can't just come up under here if they're not going to make proclamation. So if you don't have covering, you're ultimately swallowed up at some point. Down in the desert. Hungry. We're hungry. We're hungry.
Thirsty.
were thirsty. Moses. God supplies every single one of their needs. The things they asked for, he provided. Remember the 3 pounds of sugar?
Yeah.
Y'all been used that. Yeah. Again, manna from heaven, 3 pounds a day per person. Then God shows them, he says, I want to make you my people. So here's some commands I'm going to give to you. That he vocalizes and the people hear him. Because they've heard his voice.
And they've seen his work.
They've seen his work. They've heard his voice. Moses goes up to the Mount Sinai and says, I'm going to go up and I'm going to get these, going up to be with God. And what did the people do? Before they built a golden calf, they go to Aaron and says, we don't, but you know, he been gone this long. Where is this Moses fella? We don't know where he is. You saw it go up the mountain.
He ain't coming back down here.
Where is this Moses? Like, who is
So they end up creating a golden image, completely disobedient against the very first command that God gave, that they heard, and now they're being ushered. God is giving Moses the commandments on tablet, and he stops the whole process and says, you need to go down there and handle them folk. Because if God would have handled them, it wouldn't have looked pretty. He goes down, Moses gets mad. Says, well, what happened is we took all this gold and we put it in the fire and this cow jumped out. But that's the Bible. So consistent rebellion. So he tells one lie to cover another lie.
That's what the old folks say.
So now there's an issue in the camp, and God has made it clear. I'm about to destroy these people. Moses' petitions, God, these are your people. Don't. Moses said God already had in his mind what he was going to do, but then he reestablished his covenant. But it wasn't just covenant with Moses. It was covenant with the people. And this is the difference. Because now the people are now tied to covenant with God, which means there's corporate worship. And immediately what he does, he says, before we can get anything started, folks have to be able to give freely. Have to freely be able to give. Don't force it from them. They must be willing to give of their time and of their resources. Huh?
Didn't he separate the people?
No, he didn't separate them. He didn't go through the process of separating. When you say separate them how?
Yeah, separate some of them. He told them to put some on this side, some on that side, and then he destroyed some of them.
I think some were destroyed. But you also have to remember that at a generation as they traveled through the wilderness, at an original that was Joshua and Caleb before they went to Canaan.
Of all those people.
Of all those people. So
Except those under 20.
but yeah, there were under 20 because of the census that they actually took. A new generation came, and that's the generation that actually went into the promise.
A millennium.
Well, there's a preparatory state. You can't go into a place you're not ready to fight. If you're not prepared spiritually to take over the land, then God has to have you in the wilderness to get you in a mind state, more importantly, a heart state, to be prepared to go in and take the land. So all of this happens, and then we get to where we're going to now, is that God established what they should be doing, and then now go to 35 real quick. And this is the end of the chapter. So I'll read this 30 through the end of that chapter. I think it's 35. It says, then Moses said to the Israelites, see, the Lord has chosen Bezalel, son of Uri, son of Hur, the tribe of Judah, and has filled him with the Spirit of God, with wisdom, with understanding, with knowledge, and with all kinds of skills, to make artistic design, to work in wood, and to engage in all kinds of artistic crafts. He has given both him and Aholiab, son of Ahisamach of the tribe of Dan, the ability to teach others. He has filled them with skill to do all kinds of work as engravers, designers, embroiders in blue, purple, and scarlet yarn, and fine linen, and weavers, all of them skilled workers and designers. So not only are they set apart with regards to the skills they have, but also they're there to teach others. The community of faith, if you want to look at it from the Israelites or look at it from the modern day church, this is how church, as we know it, continues in legacy. Someone must teach someone else how to do certain work within the church so that the church remains viable. Our Bible even teaches it. Train up a child in the way that he or she should go. And when they're old, when I pattern that God has put in place within the body of Christ, but also within the body of the Israelites. And what this also says is that, again, you've heard me say this before, no one person is an island. No one person stands by themselves when it comes to the worship of God. It's corporate. Everybody is included. Everybody counts. Because if you only have one person in worship doing everything, you're gonna kill them. Now we know this in example with regards to what Moses was trying to do, and his father-in-law Jethro told him, "You gonna kill yourself, boy. You trying to do too much." It was a concern. Maybe he said it because he said, "Wait a minute, this." So again, teach someone else. Someone teach. Press this upon your children. It's the generations.
But we have a hard time doing that and letting go of stuff.
Of letting go of stuff.
And teaching somebody else.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We all don't do things the same way.
No, we don't.
You know, Lord put the ideas, different ideas.
And every job you on, there comes a
Being accomplished with young people. A bit old, some of the new, combine that together and go for the gold. But we lose focus on trying to combine.
Okay. This is amazing. We're having this conversation, and I'm glad that we're having this conversation. And again, it's tied to what we're talking about. There was something on Facebook today. There was some pastor. I don't know where he is, but he made the statement that he wants all the old people to tell me that way, and then we can get these fresh ideas and so forth. No, from 99 to 0, in all.
As a group, as a family.
All the people. It's all the people, and this is don't understand. This thing is not about coveting, which remember is the 10th commandment.
That was it said. No.
Don't sit here and grab on something as if this is mine. Because the longer you hold on to it, it's going to become a burden for you.
Well,
as well as not become a blessing for someone else.
But we are a selfish people. You know, it is.
And so what? If we are, maybe we need to take an adage from Jesus Christ himself, who was selfless. I'll tell anybody, whenever I hear that argument, read Philippians 2.
Yep.
Read Philippians 2, because if you want to look at selflessness, look at Christ and his example. And that becomes the problem, because people think, well, this is something that I own.
It's like, I'm not gonna, when I worked at home, like, one of the guys that they pulled me to supervise us, I had to train him. And he said, why are they pulling me in? Why do you not have this position? I said, because I'm trying to get in the head. He said, okay, so you say you're going to train me? Yes. But I'm working on another job, of course. So that you can keep coming back. No.
And it causes more burden for you. Hold two things of the one thing and going on to the next.
He said, you're going to show him everything. I don't need it. Born to it. Everything I know. Before I leave Homeland Reconditioning Center, you will know everything that I know. That which I don't know, you won't know. You will have to get it from somewhere else. And everything I know.
You know, you got all people. So when you make a change, you need to make the change moderately.
And again, you can't do it abruptly, because what it causes more waves. It has to be a handoff that is not rushed. So literally, when you think about it, it's something that, okay, I got you along. Okay, I got. That goes on with it. So, but also to keep what I call just the congruency of the ship. Because it's one thing to say, okay, I'm going to. Well, now this person is holding on to something that they now have responsibility for, but don't have all tools necessary to do that job.
That would be me. I'm just, whatever.
The clerk.
Yeah. All I know to do is take notes. That's all I know. If you know what he said, go look it up.
In some situations, when you make the change, you might want to, leadership in the church might want to say, well, okay, I'll take for example, when we went in 10 o'clock service, okay, let's go in 10 o'clock service for this month here, and see how we like it. You know, just see how we like it.
Yeah.
You know, and then we'll take a vote on it again. We'll vote on it again. See what we like that. See, you can win over people like that. You know, just give people a chance to
well, the thing is, it can't be something that is abrasive and abrupt, because again, any type of change is going to already have some level of fear or trepidation behind it. So you have the church or the organization being able to do that, but there's an order that's established from that to ensure that can happen. But when you start to see things like this pastor say, okay, the old people need to have been, now they've been here. The church is for everybody.
Yeah.
This is not a place where you push people away. Everyone is accepted. So everyone has something to add to the pot. But also, while adding to the pot, there's a way in order to be able to lead and for even young folks to understand and have respect for what has happened even in the past. Y'all got to remember that there was somebody here before you got here. There was somebody here before you got here. So remember that and be respectful of the aspect of what they know. That nature, continue to build that up in order to steadily flow and bring those that will work.
Well, if things hadn't worked, those people who were going on before us, we wouldn't be here anyway. So some of the things had to work, you know, for us to even be here.
Right, but also even bring to see that there are new things that can work, that also can work as well, but it's got to fit within the mode.
Right.
And again, you know, every church is different. So if you see someone's model down the street, that model might not work for us.
That's right.
It may not work for us. And so we got to look at what will work in our environment and then make the necessary changes as time goes on with regards to how that works in the environment that we're in. And then you kind of move that and keep that going. Now, chapter 36, I want to read this part first before we run out of time. Chapter 36, the first few verses, I think it's through verse 7. Bezalel and Oholiab and every skilled person to whom the Lord has given skill and ability to know how to carry out all the work of constructing the Then Moses summoned Bezalel and Oholiab and every skilled person to whom the Lord had given ability and who was willing to come and do all the offerings the Israelites had brought to carry out the work of constructing the sanctuary. And the people continued to bring freewill offerings morning and afternoon. Excuse me, y'all. So all the skilled workers who were doing all the work on the sanctuary left what they were doing and said to Moses, the people are bringing more than enough for doing the work the Lord commanded to be done. You hear that? Then Moses is to make anything else as an offering for bringing enough to do all the work. The folks brought willingly all these offerings. But you see what happened? Overflow. They had so much that they had God has asked for. We'll have more than enough. And people will, I don't know about that. And so I'm telling you, if we are committed the things we bring, that if we do it the way God has instructed us to do it, there will to do. Oholiab and Bezalel had to tell Moses, tell them to stop, at least for a minute, because it's so much. So
we're beyond because they did it really from their heart.
I honestly will tell people that God is a God. He's not a God of deficit. He's a God of surplus. Don't look at the 2 fish and 5 loaves and say that's not enough. Because with God, that's more than enough. And so if we are obedient to what God has asked for, can there be enough in our house? I believe so.
Yes, indeed.
I believe there can be.
Right.
And this is the push that Moses has given, God has given to the people, that give willingly, receive from them who are willing to give. But this is where everyone pitches in. And this is why I've gone through it, and I've said this so many times over, that when you say, this is my house, and they give towards it, you give your time of it. But all of it was for the upbuilding of the house. All of it. Of worship. Has what it needs in order to do the work of the house. And I think oftentimes we get stuck on, well, we don't have enough, we don't have enough, we don't have enough. Well, what are we doing in order to pour into it? And there are various ways in order to do that. I'm a believer of the barter system. I am. It's what got me through college. Taking skills and abilities and trading them for something else to get something else.
And that's how we used to live.
Yeah. For me in college, that's how I lived.
My mama
Everything was based off the barter system.
My mama did the neighbor across the street. She did a sewing for us, for our clothes. My mom would clean her house.
People ask me, Sean, you were usually broke every week. I'm like, yeah. But how did you maintain a fresh haircut every week? And I look at him and laugh. I said, because first of all, I was the RA. Answer to me. And if they didn't want to clean it up, I'm like, wait a minute, dude, no, you're going to clean this up. You're going to clean his hair up. You're going to clean his bathroom up after you finish cutting hair. Well, I ain't got time, man, and so forth. I said, tell you what. I said, I'll make sure the bathroom clean after you're done. Both days that you cut here. I said, but in return, cut my hair. You cut my hair. I said, you cut my hair every week. On schedule. This will get cleaned up. They were like, bet. You keep your fade tight every week. Yeah. I said, so what? Yes, I use my power in order to exchange it. He didn't mind it. I didn't mind it either. So after he was done, I come with the broom and the dustpan, sweep up, clean up.
My mama cleaned the neck down there.
Services without exchanging money. It works.
Now probably, go in the shop, clean up, close the time, and get them a free
Haircut. And the thing is that if you did do that, some barbers will be like, oh, okay, because what they see the work ethic. So they're like, okay, to give them a shot, okay, come on in here. They will make sure you get a haircut. And not only did I do it with haircuts, I did it with food. So yeah, I was a hustler in a college, y'all. I was a hustler, y'all. I'm telling you, when you broke college student, you start getting ingenious and figure out ways in order to get what you need, without breaking the law, without breaking the law. So it was a man named John Stiegel. He's been retired. He sold the store off. They bought it. One of the schools bought him out. They bought him out and gave him a large sum of money. And he was like, it was just too much. It was too much money on the table. He was like, I sold the business. John Stiegel had a spot. It's right in the middle, right across from our library and across from Clark Atlanta University. A lot of people don't know that all of the Atlanta University Center schools, so that's Spelman, Clark Atlanta, and Morehouse, they all use the same library. So there's only one library in the Atlanta University Center. It's called Woodruff Library. Across from Woody, that's what we called it. Across from Woody was a place called Stiegel's Food. It's a convenience store. Had 4 picnic tables in it. Still to this day, I'm trying to figure out how they got the picnic tables in that store. But they were in there. He had a grill in the back, the convenience store, and it was the register up front. Every year, at the beginning of every school year, from my sophomore year to my senior year, I would go see Mr. Stiegel. And Mr. Stiegel would have all these flyers. And I walk in, I'm like, oh, Mr. Stiegel, what you doing, man? He said, y'all boys back? Y'all back from school? I said, yeah. I said, I'm one of the RAs at Morehouse or whatnot. He was like, okay. Yes, I tell you what. He said, you see these flyers? He said, these are all Morehouse's flyers. He said, and I need somebody to put them in the freshman dorms. I said, okay. He said, what's your name, son? Told him my name, so forth. And he said, can you get somebody else to help you? I said, oh, yeah. So I brought somebody else with me. I went back to campus, got somebody else, brought them with me. He said, I tell you what. He said, if y'all take all these flyers and get them in the freshman dorm, he said, y'all can eat anything off that menu for free all year.
That was all right.
I said, what? Don't tell me that. Put them under doors before the freshmen got there. We did that. That's how he got his repeat business. Right. That's how he got his new business. Because all the other upperclassmen, we all knew Stiegel. So when he get the flood of the faces come in, he know, oh, okay, what school y'all from? Morehouse? Okay. Yeah, freshman. So they'll come in the store and buy some. So he gave me and this other guy, gave us a card. And he told us before, he said, anytime they come up in here and they show that card, he said, you give them what they want. Get them what they were. When I was hungry, I went down to Steelers. I get what was a wing on wheat, basically about 10 wings and wheat bread. Either that or CBS, which was cheeseburger special. So, but everyone, you always got food in the room, and so I'm like, yeah. I said, we're down to Steagles. Give me going to Steagles every week. I said, I go to Steagles every day. Every day. If I'm not eating in the cafeteria, and I usually go down to eat when the cafeteria is closed. So they like, well, how much you paying? Nothing. How you do that? I said, you don't need to know about that. but again, it's being able to see that exchange, an aspect of relationship. And again, I just realized that you can be blessed in so many different ways. I think Jesus definitely was right when he said, ask and it shall be given you, seeking you shall find it, knock and the door will be open. And I believe we miss out on blessings because we're never active. We don't become active enough. And I believe there's some ways that God wants to bless even our church. That I'm praying to God, there's just different ways and things. I think there are individuals and people that have never been tied to First Mount Zion that will give to our church.
Oh,
I believe that. I do.
Oh, yeah, they will.
I believe that. But again, I think there's a mode of our willingness to not be shameful or to, I'm not going to ask folks. So no. Anything that goes on in this there are folk who are getting crates of food every week, and they need it. Our own members, friends, and whomever else. But that's ministry. That's the service we do. And I get a joy out of that. I just get a joy out of serving people.
And we are instruments of the Lord.
And it's about the real work of the church. It's about the real work of the church. And we got an obligation to put our work towards that and to be able to do it. But again, being able to give towards it. And these folk gave their offerings so that the house. He was like, no, I ain't giving y'all nothing. Give y'all nothing. No, he looked and saw opportunity because he knew for y'all to feed y'all all year, and for the amount of business I'm going to get if y'all take them flies over there, I'll pay that cost.
That's how business thrive, by word of mouth, and that's how they thrive. They don't always.
And the last time I actually talked to John Stigler, he's still alive, but last time I talked to him, then when he owned the store, I was there for home. And then talked with him. He was there at the store, and we talked with him, and he said, one of the blessings. He's a place of one of the richest blessings I've had. He said, all y'all kids coming through here, y'all doing things, businessmen, doctors, lawyers, and everything else. And he said, but I can at least say that I had a hand in y'all's preparation, that y'all ate my food, came into my store, and I was able to help push you all along. That after y'all came out that library with your head swole up from all the books y'all been reading, that you could come right here to Steagles and sit down and eat some wings and be at peace. Things like that. And that's why I have so much an appreciation for the journey of life, because you never know who you're going to see or who you're going to meet on this journey. And because of that, they're going to be a blessing to you. Amen. If you allow them to be. Because you know what? You'll be a blessing to them in some way, shape, fashion, or form. I think John Stigler got more out of helping us than him making money as a business. I really believe that. He owned the store and he owned the laundromat. And he was like, these two right here, he says, pretty much all I do. And then I think Clark Atlanta came to him with an offer he just could not refuse on paper. And he was like, I sold it. I sold the business. He said, it only made sense. He said, I was ready to get out anyway.
So was the business still there? What did
No. Clark Atlanta bought it because it's technically where Woodruff Library is technically on Clark campus. I'm putting it in quotes because it's really on the street.
Okay.
But it's really because Clark's campus extends all the way from Fair Street all the way back to Martin Luther King. And if you know anything about that area, that's a real long strip.
Okay.
But students who spelled in Morehouse have to come through there because that's the way you get to the library. The library is right there, so but all the schools use the same
one
library. Yep, still one library. Still one library.
All over here.
Yep. Yeah. Now we have a reading library at Morehouse, but the functional library for all the schools is Woodruff Library. So that's why people say you went to an all-male school. It never felt like it because we interact with so many people from Spelman and Clark all the time that it just didn't feel like it was all male. You know, there were certain things at Morehouse that were exclusively for us that it was all male then. But as far as classes and things of that nature, it never felt like that because of the way the Atlanta University Center is set up. It's a beautiful consortium of historical black colleges, and the way it's all set up is just wonderful. I take people down there. I took Hart Holly, Sister Edwards. April's son, April Berry's son, Pat was grandson. Took him down there, and we walked to the backside of campus. And as we were walking, I said, "That's Danforth Chapel." He was like, "That's part of Morehouse." Yeah, that's part of Morehouse. And we walked over. He saw this big. He said, "What hall is that?" I said, "That's Harkness Hall." He said, "Man, that's a nice building on the campus. It's not our building." I said, "Once you walk past this brick overlay, you're on Clark's campus." He was like, "Wait a minute." He said, "So if you're right here, you're on Morehouse's campus. Now you walk across this, you're on Clark's." I said, "Yeah." Right there close to each other. The only one that's really gated off is Spelman. In Spelman, you got to walk past a gate through security because all the sisters over there. So they're going to keep a tight guard on them. So, yeah. So you actually got to walk through checkpoints to get actually on the campus at Spelman.
That's what Bennett is up in Greensboro, and Bennett right there too.
Yeah, exactly. You walk right across Market Street.
Right.
Yeah, between A&T and Bennett.
Right.
Yeah, a lot of people don't know Bennett is
Nobody had no problem.
Yeah, Bennett is actually Morehouse's sister school. A lot of people don't know that.
I know that.
Yes. so when Bennett they come to our homecomings and everything because they are actually our true sister school on paper. And Dr. Benjamin Elijah Mays made that years ago, but some people don't know that. They think, well, Spelman's our sister school. I'm like, Spelman's technically not our sister school. They are our sister school, but on paper, the pact was made between Dr. Benjamin Elijah Mays and the president of Bennett at that time and said that Morehouse and Bennett would be brother and sister schools. So guys go up there, go up to Bennett, and girls they'll come down to Morehouse. They come down for homecoming all the time. That's a regular thing. Yeah, many of them trying to look for a husband, of course.
Yeah, that was,
many of them trying to look. We had it was homecoming. I've got 1 year, and they were doing. I've been doing a whole bunch of stuff. My junior year, I've been doing a whole bunch of stuff around homecoming. I was tired, so while everybody is going out, they're gonna hit town at night. I took a nap, and so somebody beating on my door. I'm like, who is this? Open the door is actually one of my Bennett sister and another sister, and they had like about 10 other sisters with them. And I said, man, what y'all doing here? He said, we came check up on you, say how you doing. I said, okay, that's pretty cool. I said, but y'all excuse me. I said, I've been asleep because I've been busy all day. Man, them sisters came in, rolled. They said, y'all got some tables? I said, tables for what? Man, I said, what do I smell? Man, they done cook chicken. They done cook sides and everything. Man, I said, hey, brother. I just yelled, brothers, hey. And brothers started coming out the door. They were like, man, what's that smell? I said, the sisters from Bennett, they brought food. Laid it all out. Man, we sitting on the hall just eating and so forth. I said, now, y'all be careful. I said, because they came here It's food. Now, when you got aluminum trays, and I know they stacked up at least 15 of them along these tables with chicken and rice and sides and all types of stuff, and I'm sitting here like, damn.
That's why I told my son
They made sure they got you out there to get everybody out. They woke you up.
Yeah, they woke me up because they knew I was the lead already. They woke me up, so he'll get everybody up. So that's all I have for tonight. When we come back next week, we're going to finish up this book. So, and also, I want y'all to be in prayer for our next study. Be in prayer for our next study. Keep in mind, just pray over it. Pray on the topic of temptation. Okay, keep that in mind. There's a lot we can discuss, but be prayerful about that. Kind of through, and so when we come back in a couple of weeks, we'll be here next week, but we'll come back in a couple of weeks. We'll start a subject or what have you.